Probably the hottest topic of the week, and you could maybe even make a case the day after that one had some power and spiciness to it as well. Monday wasn't big enough. Tuesday was. The Auburn Athletics Department announced that officially, after much speculation, books have been written about the topic, whether it was warranted, whether it's deserving from people's opinions that don't matter because they've already done it themselves. So once again, you need to be careful pointing the finger because you've already done it too. That was my question this week, Austin. Before I tell people, I would ask other fans when we were getting comments or live interactions, but I was like, "What's your fandom? Have you looked at your championships yet?" That's what we're talking about. Auburn claims 9 national championships as opposed to 2 official as of this Tuesday in August of 2025. Let me give you the list. We'll talk about it a little bit here in more detail because there's a lot of angles to discuss within that. Before this week, Auburn recognized 1957 and 2010 as their 2 national titles. No disputing 2010. The Oregon Ducks got their butts whooped. No, that was a good game. Michael Dyer was not down. No matter how much you cry about it, it doesn't change reality. We got multiple angles on it. And 1957 is one of the best Auburn teams that ever was and ever will be. So those 2 undisputed, no questions about them. But there's always been these ones out there that people have talked about. Will they ever be claimed?
Yep.
And then some that at least have a good case. And here are now the ones that are officially being thrown into with the 1957 and 2010 national championships. 1910, 1913, 1914, 1958, 1983, 1993, and the big one, I think, for people of our age and generation, 2004, old wrongs righted in a way for this one. So once again, I'd like to give you a space to say your take on it, and then we'll kind of chop this up however we need to within the different ways you can discuss this, because there are a variety of ways to do that.
Yeah, I think it was very interesting to see all the fallout from it, right?
Right.
And from positive to negative to everything in between. I think it is a key distinction here that in a weird way, Auburn has always recognized 1913, 1983, 1993 as ones that were also national champions. Just it wasn't on the sign on the stadium. It wasn't inside the building, but on the website, if you ever looked on the public website on auburntigers.com, those 5 were all, including 57 and 10, those 5 were always mentioned as national championships for Auburn football. I don't know whose decision it was to not put it on the stadium or make it a bigger to-do. I don't really know the reasoning why, other than just it hasn't been done. So really, and this is all just semantics and nobody probably really cares, but really Auburn added 4 this past week by doing so, not 7. Still, Auburn's going to now bring that total to 9, no matter how you got there. It looks like 7, but no matter what, how we get there is 9. But here's my thing with it. My overarching goal, or not goal, overarching thought and hypothesis of it is, if Auburn does this 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, it's not as big of a deal as it is we're talking about right now. When everybody else has been doing it, if we all grow up in it, it's no different than anyone else out there, whether you're claiming 18, whether you're claiming 4. So to me, it's not as big of a deal. It's just a big deal because of the timing of it all. Well, I don't know how much you want to get into each year and that kind of thing. I think that it is important, and I put this out to our Conquer Club earlier this week. I think it is important to recognize that an unbiased and separate entity of a individual spectator, and I don't say spectators in one person, but individual outside article named Auburn the national champs. It was not, as you can see if you go look at some other places, not some random person that has decided. It was a reputable source and accredited. There's a word that they're using for it, and I can't remember it, but accredited source has labeled Auburn as the national champion in those years. Now, yes, let's just go out and say it, because some of you are figuring it out for the very first time. In a lot of these years, there's multiple national champions, because My friend Bobby, who owns this newspaper, can name Iowa the national champs, and my friend Jimmy, who owns this. Yes, that's where I was going. Good pickup. Who owns this wood lumber company can name Auburn the national champions. And in that day and age, when there's not a game, then that's how it's done. And look, let's just call it how it is here. We've all made fun of the other team in the state for doing it for a long time.
Oh, yes.
My brother's first words to me was, I hope no, and he sent a tweet from an Auburn personality online that, I hope no one recorded my middle school conversation of me clowning my friends at the lunchroom, because it's true. It's true.
It's true.
We're acknowledging it but I'm okay with Auburn leveling the playing field. If this is how we're all doing it, I'm okay with it. Yeah. I think that it's appropriate to honor those memories that we have of teams that were special. I'm going to say that. I'm going to let you talk, and then we can go into certain years if you want.
Yeah, I think we maybe should do a few at least. And maybe this is something we break out further if we need to on not such a jam-packed show,
Absolutely.
the one with all the football. My first question to anybody in this, I've already talked about. If it's somebody who's not from Auburn, what's your team fandom? Let's talk about your history. So if you have an issue with this, then we're not going to talk about this unless you can not take issue. Now, I would say I have a Micah is his name. He's a Bama fan who follows a lot of our content on the different spaces. I don't know if he's here tonight. He has said, I'd be fine if we just do with everything, just wipe the slate clean until the playoff era. I said, I'm down with that too. And that still gives Alabama a big advantage in that category as our biggest rival too. I'm down with that.
It's just not apples to apples, right? And
right.
Like we all acknowledge that, like whether it's BCS playoff,
right,
AP, whatever was happening in the 50s, it's not apples to apples. And so I totally agree with Mike on that. It's just, it's strange at this point to call. Look, we all saw that Princeton has like 40 something.
Yes.
No, they don't.
No, they
don't. Okay. It's crazy.
That tiger has stripes that are faux. Like that's
right.
worse than pretending to your Tigers and that your name's really Bayou Bengals. Like let's get real here about this kind of stuff. So that's where I kind of start with this type of thing. I want to dive into what you said about the angle of I hate that I used to make fun of Alabama and other teams for this type of thing, and now I can't. Folks, let me just say something right here in the camera. You're making it about you. This isn't about you. This is about the other players. This is about those teams, those coaches, the staff, everyone that put their heart, sweat, and tears and earned the right in someone with some reputability's eyes to be named national title. And this is the way it was done. And this is the way it is done now in terms of recognizing this. So if you can't set aside your own personal feelings, and just, you can still feel that way, but you have to be able to acknowledge that it's a selfish thing. And this isn't about, I'm making it that way. Like, I acknowledge that. Like, trust me, I have thrown that and will continue to do so, because there are still ways to distinguish what Auburn and Alabama do. This situation, don't let that slide in this conversation.
Still not apples to apples.
But let me be very clear. This isn't about you. This is about the players, and this is about the team. So you need to be able to recognize that and separate that.